Hello, my name is Christian. I'm the founder of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur show, and you guys will love today's guest. Not only is she from Europe, and she made it actually, you guys meet it right after this. Hello again, my name is Christian. I'm a founder of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur show, and I'm really excited for today's guest. My audience knows that we went through a period where we all said, okay, we need to have new people come in here, and we need to have interesting people coming in here, and we need to have people which create smarter leaders. And today's person does exactly that. With that, I want to welcome Susanne Ekström. How you doing?
I'm doing great. And you?
Good. So first off, I'm really excited for this conversation for a few reasons. I said to this, we had a small conversation before the show. I said, there's three things I absolutely love about you. Number one is the advice you have is so practical that I can do it today, see an impact tomorrow. There's very few people which can do that. So that's absolutely we love about you. The second thing we absolutely know about you is we're doing something we call ethical stalking. So we kind of followed you for the last few weeks on your social media. And the person you are when you respond is the person they meet today. And finally, you're an amazing human being. So how did all of this start? Where are you calling in from? So let's start from there.
Yeah, I'm calling in from Gothenburg, Sweden, where I live. I'm brought up in Sweden. So it's on the West Coast. And I'm at the moment at my summer's house. And I have the Nordic Sea, like 15 meters from where I sit right now.
That is awesome. So I'm in New England. So we hate people like you. Okay, 50 minutes from the sea. We don't like you. Just before we came on, I said I had a really dear partner of mine I met as I went to Sweden, and some really amazing human beings. So you talk a lot about leading with clarity. So let the listener understand a little bit more. How did this whole thing start?
Yeah. During the .com era in the beginning of 2001, yeah. I was the main owner of a large Swedish .com. And I was flying all over the world, and I had the time of my life, and I had really much time, energy, creativity, and money invested in this company. And one day, we had to file for bankruptcy because our investors didn't want to put in any more money.
Yeah.
And we were around 400 people. And of course, this was devastating for me in the short run. The company I put all my effort into wasn't surviving. Yeah. But then I realized that we had some major failures, and I wanted to transform that. So instead of bury myself under my cover and looking at a lot of Netflix, which wasn't there at the moment because it was too early, but still, you get what I mean. I wanted to help CEOs to build companies that are sustainable and resilient, and so they don't have to go through the same leadership and other types of mistakes we made.
I absolutely love that about you. And you talk a lot about, in order for you to succeed, you need to start breaking with tradition. What does that mean when you talk about breaking with tradition, and how did that influence you?
You often, when you are a founder, you build your company, you have your team of really, really great people that goes that extra mile for you. And then you grow a bit, you become more and more people. And then suddenly you're stuck. Yeah. And you don't realize that you are the bottleneck. because you are working in your business. You're stuck in your business instead of freeing up time to work on it instead. And many people I meet also want to have their fingers in all the cookie jars of the company, having a hard time letting go of the control of the company.
I absolutely love that.
Sorry. Yeah,
No,
so when you're around like 40, 50 people, you need to make a decision as a founder. I want to transition or not?
So I know you talk about this, you need 40, 50 people. I think the transition you need to make earlier, because for me, we are now 11 people. And for me, it's really clear that I can't be involved in everything, because if I'm involved, I will get what I always had. And I don't want that. I want to get something different. And it's tough for me to back off, but it's also, I think, super, important. And breaking with tradition so resonated with me, because for me, everything we do comes out of tradition. And for me, it was, I have to be honest, it was really hard to kind of step back and say, hey, I want you guys to lead this, because if I get involved, I get what I always had, and I don't want it. I want that. I want more for us. So how do you work with clients around that?
Yeah. And I totally agree with you. It starts a lot earlier than when you're 40, 50. But at that point, if you haven't faced it before, then you really see that you can't go on being the spider in the web anymore, and you have to let go of the control to other people to actually take care of the business for you, if you want it. But when I start working with the new CEO, I always work with him or her firstly to look at what are they investing, spending, or wasting their time on.
Yeah.
And many people don't realize that they are actually merely spending and a lot of time wasting, because they shouldn't be in that meeting. They shouldn't do that task. and going just to realize that is a huge mind shift. And then, of course, you need to be coachable, because you can see that in theory that, okay, I need to shift things, but then to actually do that, that's where I come in as well, to coach a person into really changing what they are doing.
I can't tell you how much all of this resonates with you. Just before we came on to this Zoom with you, we were looking, how can we drive our team forward? And not just how can we drive it forward, how can we bring people on and have people pivot to be a valuable resource to us as an organization? And so that was really interesting. And for me, I want the audience to learn more about you. And if people start following you and the message you have out there in the marketplace, I know they will fall in love with you the way we did. And for me, I'm interested. You have a very clear way about you. You are very clear in how you communicate. You're very clear who you want to work with. For me, I think that's an amazing skill. So where did that come from? So from early lessons from you, what has shifted your trajectory, and where did this come in? Because every time I hear you speak, you're really clear on what you want to get done. You're really clear of what you want to get for your clients. And for me, I think that's one of the most attractive things, what always attract us about you.
Yeah. After the bankruptcy, I started working as a management consultant. And I was doing many different assignments for many different types of industries, and also in different countries. And I realized that in this size of a company, it actually doesn't matter which industry you're in or in which country you are in, because it has to do with leadership, communication, and your people. So I don't actually, I wouldn't say care, but I don't focus on like marketing, your sales team, anything like that. I focus on you as the CEO and your management team, if you want to do that as well. And then how to communicate in a way that's clear. And also, mostly important, to in the morning when you dress, put on your large ears, because you need to use them much more than you are doing today.
I love that. You talk a lot about that. You know, that you need to. And for me, I so resonate with that, because for me, I try to listen twice as much than I speak, because I have 2 years, 1 month, and then also for me is when I hear my team speak, I want to break it down as this is what they're actually saying, because sometimes they don't really see what is the problem. So it's, as the leader, it's your job to figure out what it is. So for me, I absolutely love that. And you make it sound so easy. Oh, I just put on your big. So talk to us, when you work with clients, how do you have that conversation? Because that's not an easy conversation to have as a CEO.
No, and often it's like that also when we start to free up time to work on the business.
Yep.
They don't know actually what to do. So we start to practice things, and then I say that now you have time to listen to your people. And in the beginning that might be, as you said, it's simple in theory, but maybe a bit hard in real life if you haven't spoken that much with your people. But that is so important to do, and you can start with just some short questions, open-ended questions, and then build from that. And if you have a larger company, it will be impossible for you to go around and talk with all 180 people, for example. But then you want to install those large ears into your management team. And there are a lot of other ways that you can have their opinions and suggestions through service and stuff, and have workshops. So there are a lot of different aspects to it. So
I absolutely, and you talk a lot about not just having your big ears, to have the environment for your employees to be safe, that they feel if there's something you want to bring to you, or if they want to make a recommendation, that there's a safe space for them to do that. Yeah. I so resonate with that, because for me, as I started reading up on you and started following you, I was like, oh, I wish somebody would have said this to me earlier. And you talk a lot about it, and I'm sitting here, oh my God, if somebody would have said this to me 15 years ago, can you imagine where I could be? It's so hard. I now, living in hindsight, and for me, you talk so much about emotional intelligence and taking action. Where do you feel emotional intelligence is important in high stake environments? So question number one. Question number two is, and how do you implement that? Because every time I hear you speak, you make it sound so easy. It's not easy. And what are some of the tools and tips and tricks you have for somebody to get that emotional intelligence and understand that in critical, high-stake environment, that's not easy?
No, it's not. And often people go directly to talk about, how do I have a difficult conversation? And I said, you don't need difficult conversation.
I agree.
Not if you had the conversation when it occurred, when the first incident occurred. So, and also we do a lot of we practice the conversation beforehand. If there's going to be like a difficult conversation, or as I had with the CEO the other month, he was going to tell one of his country CEOs he was going to let her go. And we started to practice, and he was going on about what he was saying, and I said, "Hey, stop babbling. Stop making excuses. Stop talking so much. First you say this, then you say this, then you ask her how she feels about this, and you really listen to her." And yes, so we made like a checklist of what he was going to say, and then we redid it, and he started and stop babbling, follow the script. So in the beginning you might need some hand holding and also some practicing, but also around difficult conversation. If something arises and you think like, it's nothing, and you see it appear again and you think, oh, I should say something, but let Peter do it. Peter is, he's better than me in this. So, and I tell Peter to do it. And then Peter doesn't do it because Peter doesn't know how to do it either. And he doesn't feel comfortable doing it because it's my thing to say. Because I saw it, I heard it. I can't give feedback on things someone else have heard or seen.
Yeah, I love that. So can you give us one or two tools or a simple way of looking at it, and how you implement that? Because for me, I love that. Because for me, when people are unsure, I think people ramble. This I think is human nature. So what is the tool for that people can use not to ramble on?
Yeah, I have a framework for providing feedback, and that is both like I don't like to use like positive and negative. Feedback is feedback. If you did something great, you should know that you did something great, and not just a pat on the back and say like, "Hey, Susan, good job." What for? I don't know. Is genuine feedback, and then you also open up to be able to give other types of feedback as well. So you did this and you did that. I would like you to do more of that. And then it could be like, you did this, I would like you to do like this instead. So there is a whole framework for providing feedback. And also, if I come to you and I say something to you, maybe you are not at all present to that I'm providing you feedback. So you just, no. It's not like that. It's and you get angry, and then you shouldn't proceed with the conversation. You should, So there are a lot of like tips and tricks around how to provide feedback, and also the script for how you how you
love that.
Do it all.
For me, I think so. I want the listeners to just go back a few minutes of what Susanne just said, because for me, I think that's not just key to be successful. That's key of being a real leader and
a person.
Correct. And I learned this a long time ago. If you have that conversation early on, it's not as bad as it is when you have it 2 months from now. When you see something, there's an opportunity for you to have instant feedback and have a conversation. And the reason we have written here create is because we're creating conversation. And when you fail to communicate, that's when things happen. And for me, you made it sound so simple, because if you could put any position in it, you don't need to be the CEO. Anybody can listen to what you just said 2 minutes ago and get a ton of value out of it, because it's so true. And that works if you're in a job, that works if you have a conversation with a friend, and then it works if you have, let me tell you something, at home with your spouse, because it's also very important.
And also your children.
I absolutely love that. You spot on. I absolutely love that. So Talk to me if somebody is an inspiring leader and somebody wants to get into the thing. What do you think they could do from day one on to be understood and to understand people?
Yeah, as I already said, listen carefully, and also recreate them, what they are saying. So really make sure you got them, so they feel heard. And even if you're not going to do anything about what they said, but still, if you recreate them, they know that you understood them. So and that could be like a really small, just 1-2 sentences, or summarize and say, "Did I get you?" And also you need to make sure you know your people, because for one person might say "Yay!" When you talk to them, and at the same time, if you have the same message to person number 2, he or she might do like this and put the fist into the pocket, because that is not what I like. Because I interpret it as something completely different. I think this is like aggressive, but another person thinks, "Yay, he's giving me space. He's woohoo," like that. So and the same about providing feedback. That's great. Some people want it in public. Some people hate to get feedback in public. And you never give confronting feedback in public. But if you say like really good job, well done with this project, it's so great, the revenue, the budget, everything. Some people want that in private. So you need to know how your people wants to be treated and talked to.
I so love what he said a few years ago. Actually, it's been 2005. In 2005, I took a class which was called active listening. And we had this role playing. And so somebody said something to me. And then our instructor said, "Christian, so what did that person feel?" "Oh, I felt for..." No. What did they really feel? And so one of the things they did when we listened to them, that we put them ourselves in their shoes. If they say, "I feel, I this," and then when you have that honest conversation and you put yourself in the shoe, you can say, "Oh my God, I'm the problem with that." And I honestly feel if a company succeeds or fails, it's your problem as the leader, because you setting the stage and having that background and sitting there and having those conversations. For me, I never realized, but I started instituting this when I speak with people. And you make it sound so easy, but I think it's a skill. It's not just a skill, it's a learnable skill. And for me, any leader, it doesn't matter if you have a title or not, you need to start learning that skill to honestly and real listen, because I think it's human nature. Then when you say something, I have already formulated the answer what I'm gonna give you without really hearing what you said. And I think that's really, really hard.
Yeah, you listen to understand, not to defend yourself, not to just answer. And also what you said is really important, that to really get into their shoes and get both how they are feeling, but also their commitment with what they are saying. And then also realize that they are just saying words to you. If you get angry, it's from here, because it's about your experiences, your limiting beliefs, your rucksacks and stuff that you bring to the conversation. And if you can have a conversation, get their feelings, get their commitment, listening to what they are saying, and be there with them in that. Even if you're not going to do anything, that is like a really, really fantastic conversation to have as an employee, for example, with a manager or CEO. If you really feel gotten.
I absolutely love. By the way, I can talk to you forever, and you need to promise me to come back and do a 2.0 of that, because what you just said in the last minute, I want our listeners to go back and listen to it. What you just said is so true, and I love that it's a learnable skill. But it's not a learnable skill if you're not open to growth. And you said that's one of the things you love about people if they have a learner's mindset. And so for me, the reason exactly for me, as you said that, I was like, oh my God, that's why we're doing the Disruptive Chef podcast, because we want to disrupt people's thinking. We want them to be open to hear somebody else's platform or what they're saying. And so for me, you just described why we do what we do. So I absolutely love that about you.
Perfect.
Let us look a little bit forward. So it's a twofold question. So give us a little bit a look behind the scene. What is Susanne working on, Susanne, for the next 6 months? And what is Susanne working on the business for the next 6 months?
Oh, for the next 6 months around me, I'm actually pretty much into Joe Dispenza at the moment, and really focusing on who is Susanne 2.0 as well, and where am I going? Who am I being in 1 year's time or in 2 months' time? So I'm really into doing a lot of work around that at the moment. So that will bring me even more skill set around me and what I'm offering and what people can count on me for.
I love that. And by the way, to our audience, which has not checked out Joe Dispenza, you guys need to check him out, because for me, even as he did The Secret, the little movie, what is now 20 years old, I believe. For me, I love what he says because it's actionable. And he said, one of his big beliefs is that you can create what you want. You can create within language. That's why we have that's written on here, but I absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. Okay. So what are you working on your business for the next 6 months?
Yeah. Business-wise, I'm in the process of going more from one-on-one coaching to building CEO roundtables.
Yep.
So actually, I have, together with 4 other co-hosts, I have an event on the 7th of May at noon Eastern time. We are doing a complimentary CEO roundtable for people all around the globe. But I want to, as you say, also to create and bring people together. I have done a lot of events the past 2 years, LinkedIn Lives and workshops and stuff. But I'm really interested in connecting people to each other, to have meaningful conversations, having practical tips and techniques, share that, and to create new partnerships, friendships, accountability partners together. And instead of just being 2 people in a conversation, you can get so much more out of that.
Yeah, if you don't mind, talk a little bit more about that event. So if our listeners saying, hey, I totally love what Susanne just talked about, I want them to come to the event. Tell them, how can they get to the event? When is the event actually taking place? And how can they learn more about you?
Yeah, and so the event is on the 7th of May, a Wednesday, at noon Eastern Standard Time. It's marketed. Yeah. Is it marketed?
Yeah, marketed is good.
Yeah. Sometimes I get like, what's the name? And yeah. So it's on LinkedIn. The event is marketed on LinkedIn, and we're doing a Zoom call for 45 minutes. And it's
So,
me together with 4 other CEOs. So we are 5 co-hosts.
mhm,
And the topic of it is availability doesn't equal leadership.
I love that.
And so becoming a CEO that's available without being always on.
I love that. And to our listeners, if you haven't done so, make sure you guys run and sign yourself up for that event, because I was just making myself a note. I will go and listen in, because for me, just if there's one little nugget, and we have create on here, if there's one little nugget which can just move you forward or help you to see things differently, for me, it's so amazing. And for me, my audience knows I went to an event from Wayne Dyer in New York City, and we were late. Okay, we actually were supposed to go to a different event, but we walked into the wrong event. And Wayne Dyer said, "Oh, come up front. And by the way, everybody, what is your name?" I said, "Oh, it's Christian." He says, "We're all Christians in here, And then he said, "Look, everybody, this is what you look like if you don't plan well and you come 25 minutes late." Okay. And I was like, I was so mortified. So we were sitting there, and then we had lunch with him, and he said something to me I will never forget. He said, "When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change." Yeah. And what does that mean? On the way home, I replaying this whole conversation on the way home. Mm-hmm. And for me, it became one of the things which is so important. And that's what I absolutely love about you, because you always, and when people dive into the content you put out there, you said, "Hey, step back. Don't have emotions involved in this. Listen what's honestly going on. Listen to what people are saying, because then you can make an objective decision, and you can make a decision which lasts." So for me, that's something I absolutely love about you. And that's why I'm saying to our audience, they should not just walk to the internet, run and sign themselves up for the event on May 7th, because I know they're going to get a ton out of it.
Thank you. Thank you for the extra marketing.
Yeah, no, I honestly believe that. And if you can learn one little nugget, and that's for our audience, if you learn one nugget, that's all you need to learn in 45 minutes, your whole life is going to get better. And that's sometimes all it takes is one little thing. So, Miss Susanne, if people want to know more about you, how can they learn more about you, and how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, I am on LinkedIn, of course. That's my main platform for communication. And then I also have my website, beasmarterleader.com. Mm-hmm. So those are my main platforms. Awesome. Mainly LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn every single day.
And that's how we met. And that's where the ethical stalked her. We kind of went back 2 years. Oh, she said the same thing 2 years ago that you just told somebody last week, Yeah. And for me, as I said this in the beginning, there's a few things we absolutely love about you. And one of them is your consistency on the message you bring to the marketplace, how you provide feedback. And that for me is one of the most important things, not just as a leader, but as somebody who wants to make an impact in the industry. And for me, I absolutely loved the conversation today. Looking at the clock, I think I need to talk a little bit faster because I can talk to you forever. So, but before we go, we want to ask if you are up for playing rapid fire question, food service edition.
Of course. Go for it.
So, full transparency behind this. So the reason we playing this is we want to make sure you have the right answers as we do, because there's 25 questions here. And so the way it works is I will say, Susanne, give me a number between 1 and 25, and then I read out the question aloud, and we want you to answer as quickly as you can. Yes or no, and why. And with that, let's play rapid fire question, food service edition. Ms. Susanne, give me question number 1.
11.
Oh, is chocolate considered a valid topping for nachos? Yes or no, and why?
Sorry, can you repeat the beginning? I didn't.
So is chocolate considered a valid topping for nachos? Yes or no, and why? we didn't say it's easy. It's not supposed to be easy.
Yeah. I would say definitely yes. I think like really dark chocolate would go greatly with nachos.
I think there's a whole movement to get the chocolate off the nachos, not on it. So, but I love you. Yeah. Okay, give me another number between 1 and 25.
18.
18. Oh, is it
My
okay?
age.
Is it okay to eat dessert before dinner and call it reversed dining? Yes.
Of
or no?
course.
And why?
Of course. Dessert is the most important part of the dinner. So start with it.
Okay, to our audience, remember what mom used to say. If you finish dinner, you get dessert. Dessert is an reward. It's not dinner. Yeah. So give us a number between 1 and 25.
3.
3. Ooh. Is it okay to serve a cocktail in a cereal bowl just to mess with people? Yes or no, and why?
A cocktail in a cereal bowl. Yeah. Why not? There's always a first time for everything.
I love that. I don't know where that question came, but it's a hard question. Okay, give me a number between 1 and 25.
I take 8 then.
8.
That's my lucky number.
Oh, should coffee be used to marinate steak? Yes or no, and why?
I love coffee, so yeah, that would be really interesting to put it on barbecue with some kind of coffee flavor. I
can get behind it. I got that. Okay, last number between 1 and
25.
25. Ooh, should we start offering breakup meals on the menu designed to make people laugh or cry? Yes or no, and why?
So you go to the restaurant for a breakup and then you have a breakup meal.
That's the idea, yes.
And does it come with a side of place or romantic music or like your venomous poison? Might be the one.
I love where you're going with that. A little cocktail, a little alcohol, just to wash it down. But what does he think? Should we do this? Yes or no, and why?
I think actually no, because if you invite your girlfriend to a dinner like that and you have like the breakup menu or set up, no. I think that is for something to do in private.
Yes.
If you're serious about it.
So what do you say?
If you want to like really get quick, just it's just for you and you just want to get out of it, then you could do it. But that's not the right way of doing it.
We appreciate it. And that completes Rapid Fire Question Food Service Edition. So first off, thanks a lot for the gift of your time. Thanks a lot for sharing as honestly as you did. And we absolutely love that about you. Thanks for doing this with us. We absolutely love and adore what you do and the things you have on the marketplace. And to our listeners, make sure you guys sign yourself up for the May 7th event because you guys will get a ton out of it. So with that, last words of wisdom. If anybody comes to you and said, hey, what is the greatest thing you have learned? Can you share that with me? So what is your final word of wisdom?
Don't tell people what to do. Ask for their opinion first.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And with that, I want to say thank you, Ms. Susanne. It was an absolutely amazing conversation. Thanks for calling in from Sweden. I know it's late where you are. Even though you're 50 feet from the ocean, we still upset about that because we don't like that where I'm from. But on a serious note, I really appreciate everything you do for the marketplace. I appreciate what you do in teaching people a better way of doing things and to kind of go within. And that's, for me, what this conversation is all about. With that, I want to say thank you for being here today. Thanks for the gift of your time. We really, really appreciate you.
And thank you so much for having me. It's been a really great pleasure to be a part of your podcast.
I really appreciate having you. And to our listeners, if you haven't done so, make sure you run and sign yourself up for the May 7th event. And let us know in the comments below what resonated with you on the conversation today. If you were able to check out Susanne, what does she do really, really well? And also, if there's somebody in your life you know who could benefit from this conversation, make sure you follow up with them and you send them a copy. Until next time, to remember to disrupt your kitchen, fire up your career, stay hungry for change. I'm Krishna, the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur host. I'm with Miss Susanne. We are signing off. We are out of here. She's going to the ocean. I'm going to cry because I would love to have that little view out to the ocean. And so go be the change, be the challenge, and be the chef who sets the world on fire. Miss Susanne, thank you for being here today. We really appreciate it. And to our listeners, go out and be disruptive, everybody.
Yeah, do that.